I'm Azaria Tagaya and this is Nightline, the top stories. Malaysia and Thailand set $30 billion trade goal by 2027. And Tabung Haji maintains Hajj cost at 33,300 ringgit. Good morning. Malaysia and Thailand are committed to enhancing bilateral trade and investment, targeting $30 billion by 2027. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the goal was set after recognizing the vast economic potential between the two countries. The Prime Minister had earlier hosted an official luncheon in honour of Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra at Sri Perdana Complex. Paetongtarn and her delegation arrived in Malaysia on Sunday for a two-day official visit, underscoring the long-standing friendship and strong ties between Malaysia and Thailand as close neighbours and partners in ASEAN. At a press conference following a bilateral meeting, Anwar said the trade and investment target had been set, considering the significant economic potential in both Thailand and Malaysia.
We also agreed to support efforts to bolster intra-ASEAN trade and joint investments that both Ministers of Investments and Trade has agreed. We have the target of $30 billion by 2027.
I also highlight the potential for cooperation on the rubber and Harimau industries that we can work together, so which can benefit both of our countries.
Earlier, Anwar and Paetongtarn held a meeting to strengthen bilateral relations under the 7th Malaysia-Thailand Annual Consultation or AC framework. Thailand remains a key trading partner for Malaysia, ranking as its 6th largest globally and 2nd largest within ASEAN in 2023, with bilateral trade valued at more than $24 billion. Aside from fostering closer economic cooperation, discussions between Datuk Seri Anwar and Paetongtarn also touched on efforts to secure peace in southern Thailand. The two leaders also agreed to ensure the timely completion of all committed projects along the border of the two countries. Anwar said the commitment to developing the borders represents a significant milestone in Malaysia-Thailand bilateral relations, which is something that is unprecedented.
The progress, certainly huge progress in terms of the road alignment, CQS Bukit Kayu Hitam and CIQ Sadao, and the construction of the second bridge linking Ratau Panjang and Sungai Kolok in Thailand. And this would, of course, enhance our collaboration and even settling many issues, water management and containing, in terms of flood mitigation, Sungai Kelantan, Sungai Golok, and the areas in the south of Thailand and North Malaya, particularly in Kelantan and Terengganu.
Anwar said the collaboration would solve many issues, including floods, which has affected both countries. In response, the Thai Prime Minister expressed commitment in working closely towards improving border roads and rail connectivity, as well as facilitating more border trade and people-to-people interactions. Anwar also reaffirmed Malaysia's support for dialogue and development efforts to secure peace in southern Thailand. In another development, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has appointed former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra as a member of the informal advisory group to Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship in 2025. He said Malaysia requires the experience of statesmen such as Thaksin to share expertise and ideas with the ASEAN chair on regional issues.
Following through our excellent relation with former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, who I have agreed to appoint as my personal advisor, chairman of ASEAN, with a team of members from ASEAN countries, an informal setup. And thank you for agreeing to this, because we need the benefit of experience of such statesmen.
Earlier, Anwar and Paetongtarn witnessed the signing of two memorandums of understanding, one on cooperation in culture, arts and heritage, and the other concerning economic cooperation and the rubber industry. Meanwhile, Malaysia and Thailand have also agreed to step up cooperation in sustainable rubber production. The move aims to strengthen the significant potential of the rubber industry in both countries in order to access broader export markets. According to Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani, the agreement was reached during a meeting between the leaders of both countries. He noted that Malaysia currently imports 4.4 billion ringgit worth of natural rubber and rubber products from Thailand annually. As such, he said both countries must ensure sustainability to fully benefit from this trade relationship.
Malaysia ingin menumpukan pengeksportan getah yang mampan, sustainable. Oleh kerana mampan dan sustainable ini, maka kita bila beli getah daripada Thailand ini, mereka juga kena memenuhi sustainability ini. Kalau tidak, susah kita nak meneruskan kita punya trade. Jadi dia bersetuju, dia pun mengatakan bahawa mereka pun sedang menumpukan perhatian ini.
Johari explained that Malaysia processes a significant amount of imported natural rubber into products such as rubber gloves before re-exporting them to international markets. As such, the natural rubber sourced must adhere to globally established sustainability standards. Lembaga Tabung Haji TH will allocate an estimated 261 million ringgit in Hajj financial assistance for first-time Muassasa pilgrims during the 2025 Hajj season. With the assistance, B40 Muassasa pilgrims will have their fees subsidized by 55%, while the M40 group 29%. Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Said Hamada Said Othman said Muassasa pilgrims in the B40 group will receive Hajj financial assistance of 17,300 ringgit per person from TH, with an additional 1,000 ringgit per person from the government. This means that B40 pilgrims would need to pay 15,000 ringgit to perform their Hajj pilgrimage. TH would also subsidize 9,800 ringgit of the Hajj cost for pilgrims in the M40 group, with pilgrims having to pay 23,500 ringgit. Pilgrims in the T20 group, meanwhile, would have to pay the full Hajj fees of 33,300 ringgit. Said Hamada explained that the Hajj payment for 2025 for the B40 and M40 Muassasa pilgrims is an increase of 20% due to an increase in accommodation, flights and service charges in the Holy Land.
Faktor-faktor ini terdedah kepada keadaan semasa keadaan pasaran, walaupun TH akan sentiasa mencari jalan untuk mengekang kenaikan kos dengan memeterai perjanjian jangka panjang dengan pihak hotel bagi penginapan, dengan pihak penerbangan dan juga yang menyediakan sajian-sajian makanan.
He also noted that TH had successfully contained Hajj costs for the 2025 season, maintaining the cost at 33,300 ringgit per Muassasa pilgrim. Meanwhile, Said Hamada said TH had begun issuing offer letters for the 2025 Hajj season in phases for the more than 31,000 prospective pilgrims. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC is investigating a social media user who allegedly slandered the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim and Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said he would leave it to the authorities to carry out the investigation.
Saya ambil maklum yang individu tersebut secara khusus telah memohon maaf. Dan saya harap ia menjadi pengajaran kepada beliau untuk tidak menomah dan memfitnah tanpa asas, kerana ini adalah dua individu, dua kita boleh anggap institusi yang penting, iaitu Yang di-Pertuan Agong dan juga Perdana Menteri. Jadi untuk beliau, sekiranya pihak berkuasa ingin mengambil apa-apa tindakan, saya serahkan kepada pihak berkuasa.
Fahmi also issued a reminder for users to be cautious and moderate in making comments, as the concern is that such comments might violate the law. Recently, a TikTok user went viral for claiming that the King and the Prime Minister were having lunch at a non-halal restaurant. However, the video has since been taken down and the user has also issued an apology for the mistake. A man in Pulau Pinang is facing a prison sentence of up to 100 years, including caning, for 3 charges of rape and 2 charges of sexual abuse against his niece last month. The 43-year-old, however, claimed trial when the charges were read to him in the Butterworth Sessions Court. The accused is charged with raping the 11-year-old victim at a house in Sungai Bakap between 4 p.m. and 12 a.m. on 3 separate occasions in November. For the 2 other charges, the accused is charged of committing sexual abuse towards the victim at the same time and location. He faces up to 20 years in prison and caning for each charge. The court allowed the accused a bail of 20,000 ringgit for all charges and fixed January 16th for case mention. Still in Pulau Pinang, police have busted a drug syndicate with the arrest of 6 individuals, including 2 women, and seized various drugs worth nearly 3 million ringgit. The arrests and seizures were made following raids conducted in residential units in Georgetown and Butterworth. Pulau Pinang Deputy Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Alwi Zainal Abidin said the raids on December 6th led to the arrest of 6 individuals aged between 26 and 42 who are believed to be members of the syndicate. Following the operation, police launched another raid at a rented luxury condominium in Sungai Nibong last Friday, which the syndicate used to store the drugs.
Hasil risikan mendapati aktiviti pengedaran dadah oleh sindiket ini telah bergiat aktif pada awal tahun 2024. Dan jumlah keseluruhan dadah yang dirampas pada 13 hari bulan boleh digunakan oleh seramai 56,064 orang.
In both raids, police seized various drugs comprising of ketamine, Aramin 5 pills, ecstasy, MDMA and cannabis worth 2.973 million ringgit. All 6 of the suspects tested negative for drugs and had no previous criminal records. The suspects are remanded until December 20th to assist in investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. Met Malaysia has issued a warning of continuous heavy rain over the next 3 days. The situation is expected to affect Kelantan, Terengganu, Perak and Pahang. According to Met Malaysia, the entire states of Kelantan and Terengganu are expected to be impacted. In Pahang, the warning covers the districts of Jerantut, Maran, Kuantan, Pekan and Rompin. While in Perak, the warning was issued for the Hulu Perak district. Later in the week, similar weather conditions have been forecasted for several areas in Sarawak beginning Thursday up until Sunday. Malaysia has the potential to generate investment opportunities in the green economy sector worth 1.3 trillion ringgit by the year 2050. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim stated that the energy transition agenda is also expected to contribute 220 billion ringgit to the economy and create 300,000 job opportunities.
Under the Responsible Transition Initiative, Malaysia enhances its competitiveness by reducing our fossil fuel dependencies and nurture growth in green mobility, renewable energy and energy storage solutions.
Anwar said this in his speech at the grand launch of the Proton Emas 7 on Monday. He added that currently over 75% of the energy used in the region comes from hydrocarbon sources. Malaysia has also been urged to balance the demand for green energy, which is expected to double by 2030. Malaysia's capital market has surpassed the 4 trillion ringgit trading mark. This achievement is driven by the strong domestic fundamentals that have helped in overcoming complex global economic challenges. As of October 2024, the Malaysian bond and sukuk market was valued at 2.09 trillion ringgit, while the total market capitalization of securities listed on Bursa Malaysia amounted to 2 trillion ringgit, surpassing the mark for the first time in May. Bursa Malaysia has surpassed its 42 initial public offerings IPOs target for 2024, with 52 companies listed as of December 16th. 11 listings were on the main market, while 37 IPOs joined the ACE market, marking the highest number since 2005. The rationalization of the RON 95 petrol subsidy is expected to generate new capital for the government to initiate public infrastructure projects. According to CIMB Securities on Monday, this includes the Pulau Pinang Light Rail Transit LRT, the expansion of the Penang International Airport and the Pan-Borneo Highway project in Sabah. Additionally, a larger fund is expected to be allocated to accelerate the development of the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone. Previously, the government had planned to implement the targeted petrol subsidy by mid-2025, with the savings generated to be used for the people's well-being. The world's largest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, surged to an all-time high of over $106,000 on Monday. The rally came after US President-elect Donald Trump suggested creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve similar to the country's oil reserve. This proposal sparked optimism amongst crypto enthusiasts, sending Bitcoin's value soaring and strengthening its position, now holding 56.1% of the total cryptocurrency market share. Bitcoin's impressive rise also had a ripple effect on other cryptocurrencies, with Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, rising 1.5%, trading at $3,954 during the same period. China's retail sales disappointed in November as sentiment in the real estate market weakened further, in another sign that Beijing's efforts to boost the economy have failed to revive sluggish demand. According to the National Bureau of Statistics data released on Monday, retail sales rose by 3% in November from a year ago, missing the forecast of 4.6% in a Reuters poll. This marked a sharp slowdown from 4.8% growth in the previous month. Meanwhile, the slump in real estate investment for the January to November period also deepened, shrinking by 10.4% from a year ago, following a 10.3% decline reported in the January to October period. This as the world's second largest economy has been contending with pressure from multiple fronts this year. Harimau Malaya appoints new coach. Sports after this breather.
Enam pasangan selebriti. Hanya satu family yang bakal menjadi juara dalam program reality Family Duo musim keempat. Hangatkan sensasinya bersama Family Duo musim keempat. Juarakan family anda dengan plan U Family daripada U Mobile. Kongsi 1000 GB data 5G dan perantauan global percuma di 63 destinasi. 4 talian untuk family anda. Hanya RM128 sebulan. Kongsikan segalanya bersama family anda.
Tak suka, selalu bergaduh.
Sanalah. Ayam goreng tu peha tau. Dan mesti belah kanan.
Tapi kenapa hati ni makin terikat?
Cesha!
Daripada awak lempang saya,
Boleh awak ajak saya borak?
Borak?
Saksikan drama bersiri vertikal pertama TV3, Benci Jadi Cinta. Setiap hari, 12.30 hari. Terbaru di TikTok Drama Sangat. Lebih drama, lebih feel.
Alah, dah habis tak sempat nak tengok.
Drama TV3 Mak? Tengok je lah, tonton.
Telefon nak buat?
Telefon Mak. Mula-mula Mak buka tonton, lepas tu tekan sign up here untuk buat akaun baru. Isi nombor telefon, email dengan password. Masukkan nombor TAC dan siap.
Ya, senang je. Jadi tengok dasar?
Boleh lah. Tadi lah drama Mak tu.
Wah.
Kita pun dah keluarkan badan manusia tersebut. Didapati tiada kaki, tiada tangan.
Suspek membuang bahagian badan mangsa yang juga seorang orang kurang upaya ke dalam lubang pembentung di belakang kediaman mereka.
Manakala kepala, dua-dua belah tangan dan dua-dua kaki telah dikambus di bahagian belakang rumah.
We are on to sports now with some football news. Cklamovski from Australia was announced on Monday as the new head coach of the national team, tasked with leading Harimau Malaya to qualify for the 2027 AFC Asian Cup and improve their FIFA World Ranking to the top 100. The Football Association of Malaysia FAM announced that Cklamovski, who will begin his duties on January 1st, 2025, will assemble a strong coaching team to ensure players attending Harimau Malaya training camps receive top-notch guidance, enhancing their skills for international matches. His primary mission is to lead Harimau Malaya to dominate Group H of the 2027 AFC Asian Cup qualifiers and secure qualification for the tournament in Saudi Arabia. The former FC Tokyo manager takes over from Palma to Vicente, who was made acting head coach following the early exit of South Korean Kim Pang-gon in July. Separately, FAM also announced the appointment of former Kedadaro Aman FC head coach Nafuzi Zain as head coach of the national under-23 squad. Still on football, now to the German Bundesliga. RB Leipzig secured a hard-fought 2-1 win over Eintracht Frankfurt on Sunday, thanks to a second-half Louis Openda goal. React and headed in from close range after keeper Kevin Trapp's initial save. Despite Leipzig's dominance, Frankfurt showed resilience and gradually worked their way back into the game, with Nathaniel Brown hitting the ball hard into the net to... The Argentine Primera Division now. Vélez Sarsfield lifted the trophy after finishing the season strongly with a 2-0 victory against Huracan on Sunday. The hosts opened the scoring on the half-hour mark when Mair Carrizo brilliantly dribbled inside the box and provided a sublime pass for Claudio Aquino to slot home. Damon Fernandez then capitalized on a rebound from Huracan's goalkeeper Hernan Galindez to score the second goal just 11 minutes later, sealing the match and championship in favour of Vélez. With the victory, Vélez can celebrate being champions once again after 11 years, with Gustavo Quinteros claiming his first title in Argentina. Hundreds feared dead as Cyclone Chido devastates French island of Mayotte. The details when Nightline returns.
Lebih segar, lebih dinamik. Laporan komprehensif menghidupkan pagi anda.
Buletin pagi dengan waktu yang baharu. 9.30 pagi setiap hari bermula 1 November.
Tak suka, selalu bergaduh.
Sanalah. I'm going to peha tau. And mesti belah kanan.
Tapi kenapa hati ni makin terikat?
Cesha! Daripada awak lempang saya,
boleh awak ajak saya borak?
Borak?
Saksikan drama bersiri vertikal pertama TV3, Benci Jadi Cinta. Setiap hari 12.30 hari. Terbaru di TikTok Drama Sangat. Lebih drama, lebih feel.
Apa yang kelakar sangat tu, Kak? Ni tengah tengok drama baru dekat tonton ni. Macam seronok je cerita ni. Kalau nak tengok kat TV, boleh tak? Boleh je, Mak. Cari aplikasi tonton. Dah jumpa tu, tinggal buat turun je. Dah buka tonton, tekan butang sign in, nanti dia keluar macam ni. Dia ada bagi link. Tapi nak senang, imbas je kod QR ni. Masukkan je ID dengan password. Sekarang ni tinggal cari snack dan main drama.
Kita pun dah keluarkan badan manusia tersebut. Didapati tiada kaki, tiada tangan.
Suspek membuang bahagian badan mangsa yang juga seorang orang kurang upaya ke dalam lubang pembentung di belakang kediaman mereka.
Manakala kepala, dua-dua belah tangan dan dua-dua kaki telah dikambus di bahagian belakang rumah.
Back on Nightline with the foreign news, impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has rebuffed investigators on Monday once again as the country's constitutional court begins a parallel process of deciding whether he should be removed from office. Prosecutors issued Yoon with a second summons for questioning over insurrection and abuse of power allegations after he refused to comply with a similar request on Sunday. The Joint Investigation Unit also asked that the suspended president appear to answer questions on Wednesday, but were rebuffed by his office. Investigators could seek a court-issued arrest warrant should he continue to refuse. At the same time, the Constitutional Court has begun reviewing Yoon's impeachment. It said its first public hearing on December 27th after the court's 6 justices met to discuss plans for reviewing the impeachment. The court now has up to 6 months to decide on the case. France was rushing help by ship and military aircraft to its overseas territory of Mayotte on Monday after the island was shattered by its worst storm in nearly a century. Authorities in Mayotte fear hundreds and possibly thousands of people have died in Cyclone Chido, although the official death toll on Monday morning stood at 14. However, officials said it would take days to establish the precise death toll. Meanwhile, authorities said more than 800 personnel were expected to arrive in the coming days as rescuers comb through the devastation caused by Chido when it hit the densely populated island of around 300,000 people. According to Meteo France, the storm was the strongest in more than 90 years, leaving entire neighborhoods flattened while badly damaging public infrastructure such as the airport and hospitals, as well as knocking out electricity supply. Georgia police on Monday said a devastating incident at a popular ski resort has left 12 people dead, with authorities suspecting carbon monoxide poisoning as the cause of the tragedy. The bodies of 11 foreign nationals and 1 Georgian citizen were discovered on Saturday at an Indian restaurant in the resort. The fatalities were discovered in the restaurant's second-floor sleeping quarters, where the victims, believed to be staff members, had been staying. Authorities report that initial examinations of the bodies revealed no signs of external violence, suggesting that the cause of death was likely accidental, adding that a generator had been turned on after the building lost electricity on Friday. Authorities have since opened an investigation into the incident. Zionist bombardment continued on Monday as Palestinian health officials said strikes across the enclave had killed dozens of innocent civilians. Medics said 4 people were killed in an airstrike in Beit Lahia, while 3 were killed in Zionist tank shelling that hit near the cemetery of Nusrat camp in central areas. According to Palestinian officials, more than 60 people were confirmed dead as a result of Israeli attacks in the last 24 hours. Earlier, Zionist forces bombed another United Nations-run school in southern Gaza, killing at least 20 displaced Palestinians sheltering in the building, as the death toll from several attacks across the besieged territory, including in Beit Hanun, Deir al-Balah and the Nusrat refugee camp, rises. Well, that's it for Nightline. Before we leave, let's take a look as Proton launched its first electric vehicle on Monday, the latest entry into the local market as the country seeks to boost EV and hybrid EV use and gain a foothold in the global supply chain. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.